Bedford, how am I supposed to film a reading when you're on my chair? Bedford, I need my chair back. We've got to film a reading. Come on. Come on, you big lump. Oh, come on. I don't want to sit on the floor again. Hello to you, my cosmic dragon friends. We're back again with another energy update. I have a gorgeous new pack of cards, which is the Sufi Tarot I got today at Lavender Moon in Poole. And no, they're not paying me to say that. I just like to shop local. Okay, so we're going to take a look. This is an energy update. We're going to have a look at the energy, what's going on, what's coming up. And then we'll do a mini pick a card as well at the end with the energy for you for the next week. Now, this is intended as timeless, so it doesn't matter when you're finding this reading. So let's take a look now and see what's going on in the energy, because it's, I mean, certainly for me as I'm filming this, the energy has been very strange. Timelines have been collapsing. Other timelines have been coming together because we're aligning our energies now with higher vibrations. And we have been timeline shifting quite a lot as well, but it's possible those shifts could actually correspond with timelines merging. So you might have felt a little bit out of sorts when you're guided to find this reading. You might have been suffering what you might describe as ascension symptoms. You might have been feeling very tired, very stiff, inexplicably having something similar to flu symptoms but without the fever, for example, but just feeling exhausted, drained, like your body just can't keep up, can't cope with something, which is very normal when timelines are shifting or when energetically things are changing up, because the poor old body has to keep up with something that's happening on a very, very high vibrational level. And of course, it vibrates at a very low level of the physical body, so it's very, very difficult for it to try and keep up with all of that. So let's take a little look here at the energies that we've got going on. This is beautiful. Okay. All right. Okay. It's all going in the right direction. It just feels very heavy at the moment. Yeah, that's how some of us have been feeling. 10 of Wands with all of those bamboos on our back, like we're trying to struggle up a hill with all of these on our back. Yes, that would be very difficult indeed, very challenging. Okay, I was guided to bring out this blue agate as well today, which is a crystal I've had for a very, very long time. Just sits in my pot normally, pretending it's nothing special, but all crystals are something special. So, okay. So let's just look at the cards here. So we've got the Page of Wands, the Two of Cups, Seven of Cups, 10 of Wands, King of Wands, 7 of Swords, Page of Cups, and 9 of Pentacles. So this is some gorgeous, gorgeous energy here. And yes, it's not without its struggle, and it's not without perseverance is the word I'm getting. I was going to say, what's the word I was going to say? Instead of perseverance, there was another one that came to mind which was more negative, and I can't even think of it now because my guides knocked it out of my mind and said, no, you're going to say perseverance, because this is actually positive what's going on here. We're under the energy of number 8 right now, and you can see what's happening here because I've got my little selfie ring light here on the desk. What's happening is it's illuminating the burden here. It's illuminating the burden, and as it does that, it appears to disappear. Now, isn't that interesting? Light makes the burden disappear. So this is our first message coming through here. Light is making our burdens disappear. The higher vibrational energies that we are moving into will make our burdens disappear. The heavy things we're carrying, we will let go of. And we have been letting go of a lot recently. And I think that's where the muscle aches, joint aches, stiffness, pain, aching may be coming from, because we are literally releasing burdens. And when you put something down, yeah, you're going to ache afterwards. When you've been carrying something for a very, very long time, you're going to ache. But the good news is we've put those burdens, those energetic, karmic, ancestral burdens down now. As I was talking about in my previous reading, You Did It, where we've let go of ancestral karma. So feel free to have a look at that one if you haven't already and it resonates. So, very interesting. On this Page of Wands card, we've actually got incense burning here. It's like she's flying up on the energy of the incense. I've got some incense burning here for us. I've got some dragon fire incense. which is gorgeous. And underneath we've got the King of Wands as well here. So there's a lot of fire. It's very, to me, it's representative of transmutation, how we've transmuted older negative energies, things that we kept hidden with the Seven of Swords, things perhaps that we couldn't talk about. And this is still going to be an ongoing process for some people, of course, but for others, much of the work has already been done. And it's going to enable us to bring in more love, more light. It is going to enable us to live calmer, happier lives is what I was saying. And then I wanted to say harmer, happier. So capybara energy coming through yet again for me. I don't know why capybara keeps coming through. You might have heard me the other day talking about the full moon in capybara. and I actually, it wasn't on video. I went off on a bit of a rant about how we should rename Capricorn capybara because I never liked Capricorn. I like capybaras better than goats. But that's a whole other thing. If that resonates, great. The Seven of Swords, Seven of Cups. So some tricky energies here, but all connected to that mystical energy we've been learning about. And I think for many of us, we've had to keep our spiritual growth a secret. It's something we haven't been able to talk about. For example, if you've had to have time off work, it's not like you can call in sick and say, oh, I'm having an energy upgrade, so I feel really, really ill. I've got all these symptoms. It's a case of, I have the flu. That's the best you can do to explain it to them, because the symptoms are similar. Anywho, yeah, the joys of living in this modern world where people don't understand or try to understand spirituality for the most part. Anywho, what can you do? Daughter of Cups, yeah, Page of Cups, gorgeous. So there is this energy of learning the new energy. I think it's forced some of us to make some difficult choices, for sure. Ooh. That's making me yawn. Okay, yeah. It's representing an energy shift. When I have an energy shift, I do yawn. I'm not actually tired. So for me to just suddenly start yawning, I'm feeling exhaustion, I'm feeling tiredness, and energy shifts more particularly. And I feel it's highlighted some issues in our romantic life as well. There could be a new soulmate entering our lives. There could be an old soulmate exiting our lives. It's going to be different for everyone because this is a group reading, but it's certainly highlighted some soulmate relationships, which don't necessarily have to be romantic, by the way. They could be platonic, could be friendships, could be family relationships. So, what I'm doing is just having some water because I started to yawn, so I need to ground my energy and make sure I'm keeping myself physically okay while I'm, working with these energies. So, Seven of Cups, Page of Cups. Yeah, it's a case of learning how to choose as well in the new energy, is perhaps learning for the first time how to ask for what we want and how to actually know what that is. I know for some of us, we may have never learned how to ask for what we want, to the point where we don't even know what it is that we want because we were never given the option to choose it. We were told what we should want. And I mean this potentially on every level, any situation. It could be any part of your life that this applies to, or all parts of your life. I actually did an experiment a few years ago when I was doing some healing myself, where I decided to give myself the choice to choose things, to actually genuinely choose them rather than kind of acting from habit. And I went into a little cafe that sold cakes, and I went in there and I asked myself, what do I want? And my ego immediately chose the cheapest item there. And I went, wait a minute, no, what do we actually want? And I stopped for a moment and I asked my inner child, I asked my inner self what it actually wanted. And it wasn't that thing at all. I can't even remember originally the thing that it was. I was, I'll just have that. Oh, it's the cheap thing, I'll just have that. But what I actually wanted was the strawberry tart. And that's what I had. But because I took the time to stop and ask myself, what is it that I actually would like to have, as opposed to what am I used to having, what do I generally get? And it was a case of opening up and learning to actually ask myself what it is that I want, learning to interrogate myself and ask that question and allow myself to choose something that I actually want, which is something that was very alien to me. And it may be alien to you as well, not knowing how to ask for what you want or even know what you want. because you may never have been empowered to make your own choices, never allowed to make your own choices. Just seen 10:01 on the clock. That's very, very powerful energy, representing a new I'm getting the words a new foundation. I wanted to say a new cycle. It's a new cycle with a new foundation. So yes, we're doing foundational work here at the moment on the spiritual level, which is why it has to happen slowly. We've had all these shifts now, and now we have to learn how to work with this energy. So it's baby steps at the moment. We're back to the baby step stage. So we've gone from being the wise old man, the hermit, to mush. As I said to Chrissy the other day. I was talking to Chrissy and I said to her, I'm mush. And I explained, mush is the stage between the caterpillar and the butterfly. Right now, I'm mush. And that's where many of us are. The caterpillar has to dissolve to become the butterfly. And in that dissolved state is what I was referring to as mush. Before we become the butterfly. And at that point, we don't even have a mouth. It disappears. You know, what do they even have? I mean, to be fair, I don't know the biology of it. Don't come at me if you do. But I'm the mushy bit between the caterpillar while it's still turning into the butterfly. But I hope to emerge as the butterfly soon, and I'm sure you will too. So, 10 of Staffs. Yes, we are letting go of the burdens. I feel this is I don't reverse cards. I read them reversed as I'm told to, and this one to me reads reversed right now. This is end of carrying the burdens and the beginning of joy, the beginning of abundance, the beginning of things being much, much easier in our lives. So it's just another layer. For everybody, it's another layer of healing. It is very transformative. It's very... The energy feels very supported as well by spirit. I feel there's a lot of support from the spirit realms, from your spirit guides, your ancestors right now. Because I'm focusing on this man's, I'm not exactly sure, sort of shawl that he's got around his shoulders here for the King of Staffs, the Shah of Staffs. And it feels almost like something that's been put around your shoulders to sort of give you like a hug, like something warm and comforting that someone would have, like your mother would have put around your shoulders, you know, you would hope. Not everyone's human mother would have been like that, of course, but, you know, that's the kind of comfort and softness and gentleness, supportive energy, protective energy coming through here from the spirit realms. I'm having to drink a lot of water in this reading. This is unusual. There's a lot going on energetically for me to need to do that. Okay. Yes. Wonderful energy. A lot going on. Some of us still going through the energy shifts, the energy updates, energy upgrades. So, you know, you may be feeling a little bit out of sorts. You may be feeling unwell. In which case, you know, please do still go to the doctor. All right. As I always say, just because it's an energy upgrade doesn't mean you don't necessarily need help as well, because you might do. So make sure you're taking care of yourself in the correct ways. And drinking plenty of water as well, please. But there will be a lot of new emotions to learn how to deal with as well. I want to say new emotions, learning how to have new emotional reactions to old situations and circumstances that we might be used to. Normal situations. So things that may have made us angry in the past, I feel like may not anymore, or something that might have been annoying or upsetting won't be anymore. And it's almost like it'll be a little bit confusing because there'll be this mind echo that happens, like your ego jumps in and says, oh, we're upset now, and you say, but no, I'm not. Why are you telling me I'm upset? That's not the reaction I'm having, so I'm not going to go with that. I'm not going to pretend I'm upset. I'm not going to go into victimhood. I'm not going to go into blame, drama, you know, whatever, into it's not fair, whatever else, because I'm not feeling that. So you will start to notice yourself reacting on a visceral level, on an emotional level, on a physical level, on a spiritual level differently, and that will confuse the ego mind. So the ego mind is the conscious mind that we talk about. It does not run the show. It thinks it does. It's what we should observe rather than believe is ourselves. If you want to know more about that, I recommend The Power of Now by Eckhart Tolle. Or anything by any Zen Buddhist, really, because we should learn to become the observer of the ego mind, or the monkey mind, as the Zen Buddhists call it. It's just a computer that helps us to live our everyday life. And we think it's us, and it's not. It's that voice in our head. It is not us. It is part of us, but it is not us. We are the boss. So yes, there will be confusion for the ego mind for sure moving forwards when we have these different responses to things and the ego goes, wait a minute, we're supposed to be upset right now. Quick, have a tantrum. And we're like, no, I don't want to. I'm not feeling that. It's a bit strange. And at first it can be very easy to fall back into the old pattern of the reaction, but the emotions won't be there with it, so it will feel hollow. So it's less likely that we'll even want to follow the same pattern. So yeah, okay. It's nice. It's going to feel like a breath of fresh air. It's going to feel very nice moving forwards. And this could be something you're already experiencing right now. Everyone's going to be at a different stage on their path. Fascinating energy. Let's bring in some more of these. And friendships are highlighted here as well. I feel that we have friends who will be helping and supporting us through this time. Okay. So we've got the Three of Wands, the Sun, and the Ace of Cups. Beautiful new beginnings. Oh, this card wants to come off too. Did you see that? Oh, there it is, the Tower. Tower, Tower, Tower. Yeah, we've been having a lot of Tower energy coming in, and it has been changing a lot, throwing a lot into question, pushing a lot out of the way, and this is where it all starts. So you can expect Tower moments in your life. You've probably already had a few, but you may have had a big one recently, energetically, without really knowing where it came from. But what you're going to find as well, if you haven't already, is that people around you, soulmates around you, start having Tower moments as well. You are causing Tower moments in your soul family. You are causing them to have sudden, unexpected revelations, change, shock change. And some of it won't necessarily feel very pleasant at first, but that's just how it goes with the Tower. It doesn't have to be bad, shall we say. It doesn't have to be negative. Sometimes things that we would consider objectively bad will happen at those times. This card desperately wants to come off the top. What is it? It's the World. It's the World. Yes, of course it is. Because the Tower has to fall for us to get to the world. We've got to get through the Tower to get to the world, or you can't get there. Okay. Waiting for our ships to come in. The Sun, new beginning, wholeness. Yeah. Yes, it may feel like it's taking a little bit of time for everything to come together, but the energy is settling this summer, particularly around the 888 portal, which is the 8th of August 2024. It doesn't matter if you're watching this in the future. You may want to have a look back and consider what happened in your life around that time, or what's happening in the next Lion's Gate, which is the next 8th of August, whichever year you're in as well. That could be a very important pivotal time. Notice how the Sun card's right in the middle of this reading. It's at the pivot point right in the middle. So Ace of Cups, beautiful, overflowing emotions, learning how to deal with emotions differently. And I feel a very gentle energy here, almost like we've done a lot of work on our emotions. We've done a lot of healing work, so our emotions will be easier to handle, and we have to learn how to do that. So it's going to be different moving forwards. It's like if you've ever ridden horses, if you've ridden a horse that was really kind of difficult and you had to give a lot of aids, you had to really, really, really encourage it to do anything, like really go for it. And then you ride a horse that's much more willing, very, very quick to respond to everything you ask it to do. And it's like a breath of fresh air, and you think, oh, this is easy. Oh, that's kind of where I'm going with this energy. Everything gets easier. We're no longer having to fight and work as hard, I think, with our emotions. Everything gets easier from this point onwards. Beautiful. Moving towards this sense of completion and wholeness, which is absolutely gorgeous. And we've got the 4 elements represented here. And it's interesting because the 4 elements are also on this card here that I've got sat to the side. That's very interesting, isn't it? So it's like the different aspects of us coming into balance finally. The different elements coming into balance. It's a very, very beautiful message. Really loving this energy. So very positive, positives coming from what could have been construed as negatives, but do be aware that other people in your life, your soulmates, so particularly outgoing, incoming romantic partners, family members, could be experiencing the same thing off the back of your energy, because energetically they're riding on your shirt tails right now, because you're probably the trailblazer if you're or the truth teller, the cycle breaker if you've been drawn to this reading, because I tend to talk to cycle breakers because I am one. So right, what else have we got here? Poised, 48, 48, 12, 3, completion of karmic contract. Deep knowing on 43. Chopwood on 42, that always makes me laugh. And Treasure Island on 9. And I've got one more that wants to come out, which is To the Sea on 7. Yes, To the Sea. There's a lot of water here. Gorgeous. It could literally be a nudge to go to the sea, to a body of water, to the ocean, so that you can feel calmer, to clear your mind, or just commune with those energies. Maybe do some energy work down by bodies of water, you know, if you have access to something like that. If not, do it in the bath, you know, run yourself a lovely bath, put some lovely bath salts in, maybe some sea salt, you know, whatever you like, whatever you're drawn to. Might want to add some essential oils if you're drawn to those. Make sure you know what you're doing with those, please. No, don't want anyone doing it wrong. So, poised, deep knowing, chopwood treasure. Yes, this is gorgeous. I really feel with this card, I just want to sigh. Like, oh, such a relief. Because 48 is the completion of karmic contract. We have completed a karmic contract. In fact, for many of us, we completed it a couple of years ago. 2021 or 2022. As I look at the clock, it went 21-21 and 21-22. That's so funny. Yes, so for many of us here at this point in time, we've completed karmic contracts. We do have that deep spiritual knowing. We are following our intuition at the moment. Many of us have had huge spiritual awakenings, and it's not a one-off deal with a spiritual awakening. There are different layers. We can have many. We can have enlightenment experiences, you know, where we can have Kundalini rising. We can have all sorts of things happening, all kinds of things popping off in our energy. It's been a very exciting time. And I'm closing my eyes a lot as I'm talking here, and it's almost like I want to sleep. And it's telling me almost like my guides want to take over and they want me to sleep, but I'm not about to do deep trance mediumship on a YouTube video because it's not quite the moment. So I'm trying not to sleep, but my eyes are closing. So if my voice changes a little bit, bear with me. Right, 42 chopwood. Yes, that always makes me laugh because it reminds me of what Chrissy says: before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. After enlightenment, chop wood, carry water. So what actually changes after we're enlightened? Well, not a lot in the physical. It's so funny. Sorry, I'm laughing because it's funny. Yes, we still have to do those same physical things even after enlightenment. We're not special. We still have to eat. We still have to chop wood for the fire. We still have to carry water for the pot, or to drink, or to wash. We still have to do all of those things. We still have to keep our feet on the ground, even if we have that greater, wider experience and understanding of the world. And Treasure Island, that's where we're going. That's what awaits us. Understanding, being able to manipulate, work with these gorgeous new energies that we're moving into. And look, it's a lovely turtle, sea turtle, beautiful here, carrying it on its back. Carrying us into these gorgeous, gorgeous energies in the sea. So moving very much into a much more emotional energy. A lot of the souls here are Atlantean souls. That may be something that you resonate with. It is for me, certainly. Many of us here, we are moving into this new love energy that some people just aren't prepared or ready for. Some people don't want it, and that's okay. You know, that's their soul's journey. But for those of us that do, we are moving into this beautiful new vibration of love, in which our world will start to transform around us. And even if there is upheaval, if there are terrible things happening, you may find that you're actually quite well shielded, protected from it, or it just won't really affect you in a pragmatic sense. You know, you may feel upset for people who are struggling or suffering or fighting each other, but it won't directly affect you as much. To whatever degree that applies to you. So let's bring out some message cards. See what our guides, our spirit teams have to say to us, want us to know. I'm really tripping over my words at the moment, trying to get words out correctly. They're trying to come out wrong. It's a very strange time for me right now because I just started talking in light language a couple of days ago. So there's stuff happening for all of us right now. It could be happening to you as well. Okay. What brings you happiness and joy? Yes, this is what I was saying about knowing what it is that you actually want to ask for. And that can be a big block in our manifesting work. because we might think we know what we want, and then we actually discover that's not actually what we wanted at all. That's what we were told we should want, but we never realised that because we internalized it to the point where we thought we actually wanted it. You see, like me in the cake shop with with my strawberry tart. I wanted a strawberry tart the whole time. I was going to order something else like I always did. How crazy is that? Okay, that's on 3811 too, so that's a very wise number there. How can you build on this? Yes, how can we build on these spiritual awakenings? How can we keep going, keep moving this momentum forwards, change the record? Well, we're going to have to. And this is what I was saying about how we may find when certain situations arise that we would have reacted to in an emotional way. The emotions just won't be there. So we can learn to react differently now because we won't feel the upset or the hurt or the trigger or whatever it was that upset us previously. We'll be able to respond in a calmer way, and that will take some time to get used to because we have old habits or people expect us to do things in certain situations. They might be a bit surprised when we don't. Right place, right time. You are loved. Gorgeous. Clear away the old narrative. Yes, it's almost like for some of us we're becoming new people, so the people that we had around us to date may not recognize us anymore if they're not on the spiritual journey with us. They may find that as we move into the new higher vibrational energy, the vibration of love, they just don't understand us anymore. They really don't know who we are or where we're coming from. You may find this with family members, with friends who've perhaps been around you a long time, or even soulmates, loving relationships, soulmate relationships. It could be that you have to distance yourself from soulmates or previous soulmates. A lot of relationships are ending at the moment, and there are a lot of soulmate relationships waiting to come together in the wings. Outside circumstances may not be practical for a lot of those situations at the moment. On a human level, there may be people who are already connected elsewhere, already in other marriages, other relationships. And of course, the ego mind jumps in and says, oh, tut, 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 naughty. You shouldn't be doing that. That's naughty. That's wrong. But it's not. That's just an objective human opinion standpoint, because if the relationship is over, it's over. Believe me, I am all for working on your marriage, working on your relationships. It's something I've tried to do very hard in my life. I believe in that, but sometimes it is time to move on, and some of us will need to make some courageous decisions. So it's just something that's happening right now. Very old souls are coming back together again, meeting each other again, and being pushed very far out of their comfort zone, because a lot of those old souls are in human societal based connections that are very, very much out of date. And it is only really happening to the ones where the connection is already so far out of date that it was already over, but they just stayed out of habit or convenience or fear. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting time. But certainly if you're not in a relationship at the moment, there could be somebody coming in if that's what you're asking for, but it will be right place, right time for you guys who are single. For those of you who are not single, who have met somebody that is a soulmate, an important catalyst trigger for you, maybe you're a catalyst trigger for them, it's going to feel like right person, wrong time, but it's actually not. It's still right person, right time, just feels wrong on the human level. And it's up to us to work out how this is supposed to work now. And one of the things we're seeing with like the younger generations who are experimenting with the newer energy, because they're more immersed in it, being younger in human age, having less societal expectation, less of that weight that the older souls have been carrying. Well, older people rather than souls, soul age is different. And they are trying things out, like different sexualities. They are trying out different gender identities. They are trying out different types of relationship, like situationships or polyamory or ethical, what's it called? Ethical cheating. That's not the word, but that's basically what it is. Open relationships, that sort of thing. They're experimenting with this because they're trying to understand how this new love energy works. Now, we're not going to get it right first time, for sure. Some of it is actually exploring the shadow aspect as well. So some of those people are exploring shadow energies, which they may find are painful, and they may find darkness to heal down there. So all all credit to them for doing that difficult work, mining those depths. That's some important soul work that they're doing, you know. And for others, they will find things that work for them. But it's all part of humanity's growth and expansion and experimentation as we grow. We're basically, on the soul level, energetically, we're like toddlers right now. It's messy when we do things. When we try and do something, we make a mess. We try and eat a yogurt, we get it all over our face or down ourselves, all over the floor, all over the spoon, all over our hands, you know. But we got some in our mouth, so it's good. So if you're ever wondering why, you know, like your spiritual work, soul work, you know, it doesn't seem to be as clean cut and clean and and good, for want of a better word, yeah, it's because we're energetic toddlers. We're doing our best. We really are trying hard, but sometimes that's the best we can do. So, okay, I'm going to move on now to a mini pick a card for the next week. I've already pulled the oracle cards over here, and I'm just going to clear the table and show them to you. Okay, so here's our mini pick a card for your week ahead. This is good for whenever you're watching. This is timeless. Card 1, card 2, and card 3. And I am going to show you all of them. So you may be drawn to 1, 2, or all of them. Now let's take a look. Card 1 is regeneration. Oh, this came out the other day. That's very, very interesting. Regeneration on 17. I had this in, I think it was the love reading I did yesterday. This one came out in one of the piles. That's very interesting. With Tarragon. On 17 energy. Wow. There's fire here with Aries as well. Oh, wow. Yes, you could find yourself really getting back on track with things at the moment. And as I'm filming, we're about to enter Mercury retrograde. So you may be experiencing a Mercury retrograde period in the future when you're watching this, or, you know, if you're watching it shortly after I've uploaded it. Mercury retrograde happens about 4 times a year, and you can look up the dates online if you're not sure. Or it could just be a period where you're readjusting, I want to say, readjusting, resetting, kind of redirecting yourself a little bit. Or maybe taking some time out with the regeneration energy there. So this is very, very positive, I would say, for the next week. Please be gentle with yourself, because it is about getting yourself back on track and pulling your energy back from places it didn't belong. It may be time to do a tie cutting ceremony. It may be time to sever some old ties with people, places, things, jobs, for example, that are draining you or that have drained you. Perhaps that's something you've already done. It is a time of alchemy, I'm feeling, in your life. A very powerful time where you can really get yourself back on track, set your compass to the direction you actually want to go in. Let's have a look at number 2. The Star. This is really funny because these are exactly the same cards that I pulled in a different reading, and I had these 3 packs that I used, and these same cards came out, and I'm laughing because that's just so random because I shuffled them. Okay, so that indicates to me repeating cycles, repeating patterns. Okay, if something hasn't happened yet, you might get another chance, is what I want to say. If something hasn't happened yet, if, for example, you've been waiting for a relationship or you had a false start, I feel like it's coming around again. You're going to get another chance. But with this card, it says it's 29-11-11-2 energy, which is great wisdom. It's the pillars of the temple. It's spiritual wisdom, knowledge, wisdom of the ancestors, also religious and spiritual wisdom coming through from your higher self at this time. Finding your North Star. Again, finding your direction, similar to the first card. This is about finding your direction, but it is very much spiritually led. Hard times are over. Look forward to an abundance of happiness, enthusiasm, and positivity. So this is a very, very good sign about moving forwards into more light, more love in your life, which is a very, very beautiful omen. And the third one, okay, it's not the same card. I was going to say, if this is the same one as well, I'm literally going to lose my shit. It's not. It's a different one. It's Wish Upon a Star, number 30. It says, I am made from the stuff of stars. I matter. There's lots of star energy here. Now, this is wonderful, beautiful synchronicity here. So, star, 17 in the tarot is the star. This is not a tarot card, but 17 is the star. So we're all little baby stars. We're all made of stars. This is gorgeous. Many of the people watching may actually identify as being star beings, or being star seeds, being descended from star beings or from aliens, for want of a better word, or connecting very, very strongly with the star nations, with beings from other dimensions and other planets. Wish upon a star. I know this is gorgeous. I matter. Yes, I feel with this one there's some self-care, some self-healing, and some inner child healing going on here for you guys. And it is about new beginnings, new starts, with 30 energy here. So it is about redesigning your blueprint from a higher standpoint. You might be a little bit older if you're picking this card. You may have already lived in a certain way for a number of years, had a certain job, a certain identity, a certain career, and that could all be changing now. But it is beautiful because, again, there is this blinding light leading you through this dark forest, this dark night of the soul, perhaps, but it feels so guided, so spirit-led, that it really doesn't feel as frightening as perhaps it could have been. So perhaps you have been through a time of healing, but it's actually felt easier than you were expecting. Perhaps it went quicker than you were expecting it to. And certainly moving forward, you're moving into a lot more positivity, ease, and learning or relearning that you do matter, or perhaps learning for the first time. Maybe nobody ever told you that you mattered. Maybe you were told you were an inconvenience, you were a burden to everybody else, and you had to be useful or achieve something or productive. Otherwise, you had no value and you were not worthy of love. And you absolutely are. And that's the message coming through for card number 3. Gorgeous. So my gorgeous stars, my cosmic dragons, this was your reading. I hope it resonated. I hope it helped. You take very, very good care of yourselves. Please remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That really helps me, and I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. Please help me. Please leave a like and a comment if there's something you'd like to share with us all. I'll see you very soon. You take very good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.